Hi guys, welcome back to PhotoBite. I'm Josh and today we're going to be checking out the Hollyland Mars 400S transmission system. Let's get into it. Hollyland, known for their professional wireless systems, brings video transmission into the consumer market with a pair of these just costing a little over £600. So these relatively small units support 1080p 60 frames a second over HDMI and SDI up to 400 feet or 120 meters, which we will be testing today to see how well it works, especially with the performance modes. And the transmission system also goes to a phone, so we'll be testing the distance and a little follow focus rig we've made right here. We've also tested this on computers and computer games to see not only is it just a professional video system, but can it be used for other devices, and what is the latency and performance like? Is it something that can throw you off from either playing games or from doing professional follow focus pulling? The build quality of the device is absolutely fantastic. It is mostly plastic, however, it's a very hard grade, durable plastic. It has a fan inside to keep it cool, and it has these amazing color coded anodized rings on the cold shoe mounts. So you can tell which one is which quite quickly and quite easily. It also has the 3/4 inch screw there, so you can mount it in a variety of different ways. They offer great flexibility power-wise. Not only can they be powered by a giant Sony NPF battery, but also via USB-C and the 6 to 16 volt DC port right here. So a nice feature of the devices is you not only can they transmit just from transmitter to receiver, but you can also have it receive from 2 receivers or 1 receiver and 1 mobile phone device. Now the range on the mobile phone device does depend on the model and make of phone that you have, but it's a very nice solution nonetheless, which we will be testing later on, including the latency differences between a mobile phone and the receiver. So the antennas on these devices aren't proprietary, so you can actually find some bigger and better antennas if you want to, if you find the range isn't quite enough for you. Now there are a number of different settings on the Hollyland 400S. If we hold down the menu button here, just for a second, it'll pop up into our menu. We have our different scene modes, so if we click on scene mode here, this is basically your performance mode. We have HD mode, and we can select with balance mode, or we can select speed mode. For now, we've got HD mode because after a few meters of distance, it doesn't really make a big difference what you pick. So just having the HD mode means we're just going to get a little bit better quality, really. Now, we can change the fan speed on these. However, to be honest, they're really, really quiet, and it doesn't really make a big difference for me if they were on slow or off or whatnot. But if you do have that extra quiet set and you do need the fans to be off, the option is there for you. But for now, we just have ours set on auto. Now you have your system settings where you can pair them, your language, reset, and so on, and the Wi-Fi password. Now, another little quirk I did discover with these, as you can see here, we've got 1080p at 50 frames a second. Now, if I change my output settings, my camera's currently in 4K 25 frames a second. Now, this doesn't transmit 4K, you can't transmit a 4K signal. Now, if we go into our HDMI output settings, I have it currently set to 1080p. Now, if I go to 4K, you'll see immediately no video. So it can't accept a 4K signal. You have to make sure that your HDMI on your camera is outputting a 1080p signal. With this transmission system, each one can be powered by a Sony NPF battery, and we have the large ones here. But as you can see, they can be powered by a variety of different ways, from USB-C straight from a power bank, or my blind spot here via USB, or on the receiver here using one of these pin barrel connectors. As you can see with this rig here, it allows me to be super compact, and Hollyland have absolutely smashed it out of the park with this. So not only can I power my Hollyland here, but I can also power my follow focus gear and the camera, all from my blind spot and 1 NPF battery. And I know this doesn't take up a lot of juice, so I can pretty much run this for a good couple of hours until it dies. And I just love the compact, small ability for this. As you can see, it's a bit of a cable mess. I need to get some smaller cables, but other than that, the Hollyland have knocked it out of the park with their powering solutions for it. So with the latency, from what we can find, it's about 0.8 of a second. We don't have 100% accurate tests of what we can do. I mean, we have different ways here, but it feels like we never get quite a super accurate result, because range does play a role in this. Now, we're in the scene modes, we're comparing HD mode to speed mode. When they're next to each other, it's a noticeable difference. When they're far away, less as much really, but it's not 100% accurate. It feels like it's ever so slightly variable in what it's sending and receiving compared to what distance you're at. So it's quite a tricky thing to test, but as you can see here, the latency is not terrible when you're comparing it to my camera here to this monitor here, but there's still an ever so slight delay on this monitor itself. So when we first got these, I was really excited. I've wanted a video transmission system for a long time, especially something as small and compact as this. Now, when we first got them, I did a small little test where I just tested the latency using 2 different monitors. I had them pretty much right next to each other, which is where we discovered the different performance modes actually make an effect when they're touching. But I discovered, you know, the relative latency, and after that, pretty much that night, we headed straight to a small festival where, when the rain broke out, the festival organisers decided they were going to put away all their PTZ cameras. We were there filming another band, so we kind of had a chat with them and hooked into their system. Now, we had one of them on a gimbal, we had the transmitter on the gimbal, and we had the receiver going straight into an SDI signal straight up into the big screens. So we managed to test these in quite possibly the most extreme scenario with a little bit of rain, and, you know, on a professional level, straight to the big screens. And I'll tell you what, they were absolutely amazing. I really, really love these devices for their compactness and just how easy they are to hook up. The latency is ever so slightly noticeable, but for the majority of the time, I still believe, you know, unless you're doing super precise, you know, virtual production or really, really, really precise focus pulling, I think they're going to be fine. So, pulling focus using mobile phone and a little rig we've built up with one of the Tilt and Nanos. Now, there is delay in all of this whole system. At the moment, I'm pretty much right next to the transmitter, so it's going to be the best it really gets. This is currently in HD mode, so I can see the best quality possible. And, you know, just on the screen itself, just seeing this, it's very focusable. I mean, I can bring it to the everything in the foreground, go straight back to the box here, and then go straight to the background. I mean, I can very comfortably pull focus on this, you know? Unless you've got a very, very fast-paced shot where you are having to constantly change focus extremely quickly, then yeah, you're gonna have a slight issue. Now, another wonderful thing about this app, if we touch the screen here, we've got our focus mode. So if I hold down the focus, so if I hit red, we can see it changes to red, blue, yellow, green. I like it on red. Let's have it, you know, super sensitive or less sensitive. So let's kind of have it somewhere comfortable there. Let's focus on the background. Let's focus on the box. Let's focus on the battery in the foreground, right here. Now let's go back to the app again. What else do we get? We get a really nice histogram, which we can move about. Oh, pinch to zoom. Just discovered we have pinch to zoom, but can't make the histogram any bigger, but that's still pretty cool. Your waveforms here. You have your zebras, which you can customize again for the threshold, as you can see on the corner of the box there. We have our framing, so let's turn the zebras off. So let's hold down our framing. Massive selection of framings that we have there. Let's make that bigger. So resize, let's have it to 90, 100%. Let's have it 100%. Frame scale as well. That's pretty cool. Magnify, so to get your even more precise focusing. False color, which is one of my favorite tools, and it brings up the toolbar there. Monocolor, so we can change that to any color that you like. And you can also add 3D LUTs to this. So import your LUTs and away we go. So a great range of tools. Pretty much turns your phone into a professional monitor, and this is one of the best latency systems I've used for a mobile phone just yet. So this is going to be our range test. Let's go for a wander. You can see Rob right there, and away we go. So let's go. Probably going to be really over-saturated, over-exposure here. All right, let's keep an eye on Rob. Let's keep going. He's not waved me up just yet, saying we've cut out. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, see if we can make it all the way to a road over here. Oh, I think one's cut out there. I love filming in public. Nothing that makes you feel any more awkward. Okay, still going, still going. Okay, let's keep going. Can we make it to the road? Keep going, still getting a thumbs up. I think it's going to give me a big wave when we've stopped. Can we make it to this road? Keep going, Christ. You know, and this is pretty much a line of sight test. Sorry if I am out of focus here. About now, I can't even see him anymore. I don't even know. Let's go. Let's head back. Now from our little range test, this thing is amazing. We managed to make it all the way down to the road over there with the transmitter. The mobile phone made it to the tree just over there, as you can see from the little video clip that we've made from it. But yeah, with clear line of sight, maybe with some small stuttering issues, we made it just to the other side of the road down there, and which the little jitter has kind of started the bench there, but it's still very usable. If you're just monitoring a video source and running about, this thing is amazing for that. I can definitely say this thing over exceeded my expectations of how far it could reach. Now, we did use this at a festival as well, with all the electronic signals all going about, radios everywhere, and we didn't have any dropouts or any issues as well. So this thing with clear line of sight, fantastic, even in some of those other denser electronic areas, you know, your industrial estates. I still think this thing is going to be amazing for you if you're monitoring all kinds of solutions, really. So my final thoughts on the Hollyland 400S Pro. I think this thing's fantastic. It's far exceeded my expectations, especially in range and performance. The build quality overall, super fantastic. Price point, just over £600 for a pair. Absolutely bang on. 1080p, 60 frames a second. Superb. The SDI feature, absolutely amazing again. So going from a HDMI out to, you know, SDI out to a monitor or whatnot here is super fantastic. The ability to transmit to a mobile phone device at near the same quality, but definitely the same speed as the transmitter, and that itself is super reliable, super fantastic. You know, the variable power solutions from USB-C to the NPF battery to the barrel pin connector here. It's just amazing. I really love this device. It's super lightweight. It looks funky and sporty. Having the cold shoe mount here and 3/4 inch screw here is fantastic. It looks great, and it's a nice screw fitting as well. It doesn't feel like this thing is gonna die on me anytime soon or become stripped. If I could improve it, if I could do something different, maybe. There's not really a lot. I think maybe in the software I'd actually have the HD and speed modes do something a little bit more noticeable, other than when they're pretty much touching each other. But with that said, I love it. I think it's a great bit of kit. And yeah, if you've liked this review, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.